What is real? How do you define real?
He is the one. We are here because of you, Mr. Anderson. We're here to take from you what you tried to take from us. Purpose.
Mr. Anderson, welcome back. We missed you.
Hello all you wonderful people, and welcome back to the show that looks from games from the past, the present, or sometimes even the future and decides what their judgment is going to be. I am your host Gamessnia, and welcome to another edition of the Gamessnia Show. Now, a couple weeks ago, I was actually looking on the internet, and I actually managed to go on to a streaming service that I had not been on in a while, which was Prime Video, and I actually saw something that I completely forgot existed, that I completely forgot came out recently, a good while ago, and that was the reboot of The Matrix, called Matrix Resurrections. But you know, I've not actually watched it myself, and I didn't actually want to rent it also just because I didn't want to waste my money on that, because I've heard mixed things about it, saying that it's basically the first Matrix, but it's not as cool because it's not got Lawrence Fishburne as Morpheus and Hugo Weaving as Agent Smith, and a lot of people just say that it just doesn't really hit as hard as the original, because the first ever Matrix was groundbreaking for everything, even Matrix Reloaded. And honestly, the Matrix trilogy is a groundbreaking trilogy at that. I mean, yeah, writing wise they are not really that great, but for the time, the Matrix trilogy was the movies that set the bar for cinema later down the line. And even though you may not love these movies, or you may not like any of the movies built on The Matrix, which I do, I really love Matrix Reloaded, and the first Matrix is a really good movie. Matrix Reloaded is awesome, and Revolutions it's horrible. But I'm going to be looking at one of the few amazing memories, and one of the most sticking out memories I've had from The Matrix, and that is Matrix Path of Neo on the PlayStation 2. But even looking at it now and holding it in my own arms, this is just, it brings up so memories. In fact, take yourself back to a mid-2006 with a 7-year-old Gamessnia coming out of hospital for the God knows how many bloody 100th time or so, because trust me, I was the sick one of the family, so that hospital was practically like my second home. Trust me on that. And then entering the back seat of a car with your brother eating a milk chocolate bar and holding the Matrix Path of Neo game in his right hand and laying eyes on it for the first time. That's nothing to do with a review, that's just a weird but somehow most nostalgic moment I have with Path of Neo. But no joke, honestly, I have been really excited to start this again. This is just one of those games that I have so much nostalgia for. And honestly, I'm really excited to return to Path of Neo. So, let's begin this as we dive into pathofneo.exe and let's see what they can throw at us. I mean, what else? Neo sleeping on the job? Did you expect a grand opening? This is the Matrix we're talking about. We must open up with reality questioning and making you feel extreme nausea. But you know, how about a good old wave survival for you to jumpstart our game about a martial arts computer program? No? You don't know how to play that? Too bad! Get good or fail miserably. Seriously? They just throw you in here with fighting these waves of going through cops, security guards, SWAT teams to then agents with nothing. No understanding of the game's inner workings or controls, not even a slight bit of help or tip before you start. It's more of just fuck off. But you think it's gonna stop me, the Gamessnia? Yeah, well, it did actually, yeah. Yeah, they actually got me. Fuck. So yeah, these waves are kind of just your testing waters for you deciding on what difficulties you are given, and as for me, well, I got easy and medium, and I wouldn't mind it if I I knew how to play it. Honestly, I'm more just wanting to get into the actual game. You guys want to waste your time trying to get hard as an option? Be my fucking guest. But none of that matters. We are here. We are here right now, and we are here at the most memed moment in the Matrix trilogy, next to that one still image of Morpheus. And it's in video game format.
You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Well, as long as it's not as deep as your fucking glasses. Like, what the hell? Do you have anything behind those sticking specks? Like, I don't know, your eyes? You know what? Screw it. Don't answer that question. Let's just digest the drug. Look, we all know where this journey is headed. We take the red pill, we get shown the truth, and like everything we don't like in life, we refuse to believe it, get shot a few times for leaking anime hentai, come back to life and become the one, along with some more martial arts and various exposition dumps. Okay, loads of exposition dumps. All because some chick loves a guy called Tom, I guess. We know the path, we just need to walk it. So red pill, get in my mouth. You know what, actually? I wonder what happens if I take the blue pill instead. Ah, resets us back to the menu. Who'd have figured? What the fuck? Where did he go? Holy shit, Morpheus is the one. Confirmed. My man just instant transmission right in front of our very own eyes.
Have you ever had a dream you were so sure it was real?
Well, you just teleported right in front of my face, so trust me, my whole perspective has been flipped upside down like a Nokia flip phone. You know what, Morpheus? You're no longer called Morpheus. Instead, I'm going to call you Black Goku. Because after that instant transmission out of nowhere bullshit and brushing it off like it was nothing and just feel like, ah yeah, it's all normal. No, you're getting the title of Black Goku and it is not being eliminated from this video. Okay, I've only went through one of these so far, but I'm not gonna lie, the editing on these little segue cutscenes from the movies, and I shit you not, the animatrix, are so well edited together to create the message for each of the levels you'll play through. The music combined with the transitions from the cutscenes to the actual levels are presented extremely well here, and hell, don't watch the Matrix movies, just watch these instead of the full 6-hour trilogy. It'll be so much quicker on your brain and so much easier, just trust me on that. But let's go through our first mission as Tom, where Tom must sneak by. Uh-oh. Oh no, they're coming. Black Goku, what do I do? Where do I go?
The cubicle across from you is empty. Go, now.
Okay, Black Goku, I got it. Okay, I got it. Calm down, Gamessnia. This isn't gonna work, Goku. I just know it won't. This won't work, Goku. There's no way this is gonna fit. Oh, fuck, it worked. Well, okay, well, this is just not gonna work, Goku. It's definitely not. I'm gonna get spotted by a mile. Okay, this will not work again. Oh my god. Okay, this has to go south very soon. This has to go very south very soon. Just you watch. I guarantee it. How is this working? Look, I know I have seriously doubted your skills and how stupidly genius your plan has been as of late, even though it's absolutely suicidal, but may I seriously just comment on how mad you truly are? Sending your potential messiah to have a whole computer system on a plummeting death trip where right there, is where this whole adventure would have just ended in the click of a fingers, and Mr. Black Goku himself will be trialed with murder. Jesus, at this point I want to go with the agent. At least with them, I'm on safer, stable, lower ground where I can't plummet to my death.
In a hurry to meet someone, Mr. Anderson?
Yes, Yes, I am. I was actually in the middle of a Benny Hill chase sequence before you so rudely interrupted me with your...
Mr. Anderson!
Why would I want to go with you anyway? You ain't even Hugo Weaving. What could you possibly give me that a Benny Hill skit couldn't?
Purpose.
Yeah, I didn't think so. So then, Black Death Goku, what's next?
You're training.
Oh cool, what is it? The hay and a needle stack for endurance? The 3-inch punch for understanding of power? Or perhaps a binge watch of Love Island for sheer willpower? Actually, anything but that one. Okay, honestly, no jokes here, I actually love these training missions. It goes from Metal Gear Solid style stealth in one level to pure noir styled samurai vibes in the next. They all teach you what the beginning survival section failed to do, the basis of the game combat, which is all separated into 3 different areas: guns, weapons, and basic hand-to-hand combat. Guns, I feel, is the most different out of all the combat styles because of the similarities I shall explain momentarily. This is because hand-to-hand and using weapons in fights honestly just feels near the same to each other, which I don't mind really if they manage to balance out on the weapons a bit more, and that's honestly because, excluding the tutorial where you are taught the detailed intricacies of swordplay and other weapons available in the game, there's really not a lot of times where using weapons helps any situation any more than just using your martial arts. In my opinion, it kinda just makes fights more fidgety and longer than the initial section needs to be. Hand to hand is the best way of dealing with fights. It's just so much easier to take out your enemies when you focus your kicks and combos, plus it's just so much cooler. It's just the best feeling to land stuff like this, or this, or maybe even this one. And you can tell how much I love it by the amount of times I use it. It's one of the only times I can feel like I'm Superman displaying to these swine that I am the battlefield and I own it. And this underground training section does a fantastic job at introducing you to such a detailed combat system. It's something that you can be more aware of the more you tinker around with. Like, I started off being very basic with my combos and only getting proper good ones by lucking out, but by the halfway point of trying to fiddle around with it, I knew exactly on what buttons to push so I could execute the proper combos when surrounded by a crowd of enemies, which, yes, weapons are most useful in crowd situations, and they do have their occasional cool combos in the crowd fighting department, and it's probably the only time when a weapon is ideal to use. But other than that, hand to hand is your best option for combat, and quite frankly, it's just a much more fun and viable way to play. And how do you know you are going to enjoy all these tutorial levels with an underground tournament fighter arena with wild characters you would expect out of something like Battle Arena Toshiden? All this whole thing is missing now is the epic fight announcer from Tekken 3 to get the adrenaline flowing.
Round 1. Fight!
Now on to the next training level, into the vast woodland bamboo jungle, practicing on our samurai skills and... Fuck, this just makes me want to play a Matrix Samurai game instead. And oh look, it's cartwheeling Clementine herself, and she actually chooses to have emotion here. Okay, now I know this is a simulation. Where was this Aero Palais wearing semi-interesting bitch in any of the 4 Matrix movies? My bottle of water has more character than this dominatrix dingus had in an entire trilogy. I'll just let Miss Hale do what she does best and add another role to her repertoire of endless performances, and together, let's cut this asshole open. Okay, now, I really, really want a Matrix Samurai game right this minute. And it's in black and white. Fuck's sake, take my money! But you know, a little bit more of focus on, well, focus. Focus can be used to slow down time and help mostly enhance your combos amongst other things, such as being able to run on walls, jump higher than normal, and use other hidden abilities unlocked through the story, and trust me, there's a lot we have yet to pass through. But you know what I love? Pure Max Payne shit against the walls, off the table, down the stairs, up, down, and all around until no soul body is left breathing. Spray the living fuck out of anything in your path with shotguns, pistols, assault rifles, grenade launchers, and if you want more badass, dual wield the shit out of those submachine guns. I really don't know how else to explain it other than what you are seeing right here. I'd be lying if I said I didn't enjoy this. But yeah, all training levels done and dusted. Throw the next thing my way, I dare you.
I know Kung Fu. Show me.
Oh no. Look, Black Goku, I'm not ready for this. Look, can I just retake the blue pill and go back to No, wait, I'm sorry. No, how much damage did that do? That didn't even graze him. Fucking stay still. Oh, come on. Stop teasing me, man. Come on.
Come on. Stop trying to hit me and hit me.
Look, I'm trying, Morpheus. I'm sorry I've not grasped the concept that super leveled up Master Ultra Instinct yet. And you killed me, Morpheus. Seriously? Right, come on, Neo. Pick up the weapon and use it. And this is for the scaffoldings.
Remember that in here, your abilities are limited only by your mind. Focus, Neo.
I did it. I just surpassed the master of Ultra Instinct himself. Maybe I am the one. Was that all a test? The beatings, the endless rigorous training, the absolute taunting from Morpheus all over the place, and the absolute scaffolding suicide mission I had to endure? Was that all a test? No. Morpheus. I just have one thing to say to you. For all of what you've done for me, for all this amazing test to show that I am the true one, I just have one thing to say to you. Fuck you. But every single training level is now complete. I now know how the free flow combat works and how properly fun it can be when you get used to it. I know now how the Max Payne style of gunplay works with jumping across the rooms and how fun it is in the end, and how to use focus in both those situations, and also how to use focus in certain scenarios as well. And I kind of wish I knew all that when I did the survival bit at the beginning, but you know what, it's all good in the end. So let's go on to our true journey as we join Black Goku, Trinity, and 3 other members who I genuinely forget the names of, and I honestly don't really care because they're probably going to be killed off in the next 30 minutes, am I right? Yep, see? Told you.
Believe it now, Trinity?
Morpheus, have you seen that face? Of course she doesn't. I don't think she ever will, if I'm being honest with you.
Mr. Anderson.
Aw, yes, this is what I have been waiting for. An actual proper boss fight with Mr. Weaving Imitator himself. Problem is, he won't die, even with me transcending further with an aerial killing blow. Which brings me to another thing on my mind. Your focus level can broaden further, which increases your focus bar and unlock new abilities such as all the types of killing blows. But hey ho, wait-o, we also have a skill tree to upgrade said skills with every level we get through. Oh, I do love me a good old skill tree. Most of it really is just upgrades to your current moves that you already have by making them have more power or just adding more layers to it to make it more effective. While there are some other ones unlocked throughout the story which, yeah, are awkward. Even when you unlock the infamous bullet stop, it's awesome, no doubt about that, but there is, no word of a lie, 3 times where you use it in the entire game. Once when you unlock it, and twice in the big Chateau section. And hey, yeah, do you remember that in the movie, the Chateau fight scene? You know, one of the coolest things in cinema history, where you have Neo fighting all these cool guys with martial arts and all this, and then evolving that into the very cool weapons with the swords and the shields and the scythes everywhere, and revolving that into an epic car chase, and one of the best car chases in cinema history, with Morpheus and Trinity fighting off the agents and all that, and trying to protect the Keymaker to their best ability, but obviously it's going to be too much for them, and so Neo has to fly all across the entire world just to get to Morpheus, even before he could have went the other direction, but you know, he's the one, and he does whatever he wants. And revolving that is one of the coolest scenes in the entire movie, and I don't actually remember playing this in the game. No. Like, just this. This seems awesome, and the potential for the game, oh, it'd be beautiful. But then we enter the dungeons of Shinji Mikami, and we start fighting Shatu demonic henchmen, harboring satanic cults to summon and create the ultimate life form that the Merovingian wants to create to rival Neo as the one, but more his tastes. Starting from a whole maze of a puzzle with so many directions that are ultimately meant to fuck with your mind on where to go, where I spent nearly half an hour trying to find the correct door because of the multiple pathways that make you think lead somewhere, but ultimately make you look like an absolute arse with all the possible doors it could be, when really it turns out this is the door out of here. And all this while fighting centipedes that explode upon impact and going through so much fucking doors. And yes, this is all the same game. But now, welcome to the room of demon shooters, and this is the perfect time to ask, what type of stone cold, hard firewall anonymous algorithm is this coding for the Matrix? Like, how much magazines do I need to empty just to kill one guy? I'm just losing my mind for all the wrong reasons here, especially when I see shit like this on my screen. What is going on? Can I get some context? Please? Like, I'm so confounded over this. What do you think when you think of a Matrix game? What honestly do you think of that? Like, what in your own mind do you think is going to be in that game? Fire exploding centipedes? Dirty fantasy cultists? The Mary Sue to end all things in oblivion? Trinity having a personality? Yeah, it's a no, right? Like, don't get me wrong, it's ridiculous and it's confusing as all hell, but I'm not going to say it's not fun, because it definitely is fun. Especially the combat. The combat feels really fun. I know I've mentioned that a couple times, but Jesus, it's really fun. Probably my favourite fight where the combat is at its peak point is the fight with, I want to say Seraph? For something that just kind of happens in the second movie for a quick minute, they upgrade this to the absolute next level in the game for me. And it's not just a little fight, but instead transcending to an epic step of death gymnastic deathmatch with all the jumpity jumps on the long fire sati sticks. To then going into a cinema fighting on a stage with a fight happening behind us from the film, and there's a single fan watching all of this, criticizing everything that appears to be in front of him. It's just a great fight, and I think the fight on the pole is probably the most fun I've ever had in a fight so far in this game. Like, yeah, the controls for it aren't the best, but it's just wild to see all this shit on my screen. Even when we get to the infamous versus 100 Smith fight, it's just too goddamn enjoyable. I thought it would maybe not be that good, and I definitely did not think it would be as action-packed as the movie. But no, I loved it. I managed to get so much combos in here and there, and there were so many laughs on my end on how much more Smiths entered the battlefield, which did lead to a lot of graphical issues and glitches presented, and they were very obvious. Like, can I ask what the fuck is going on with this frame rate? Just the fact they add so much more extensions to parts from the movies, like an epic Smith invasion of a White House hall, which this game has got to stop putting in stuff that I would have loved to have seen in the original movies. It's very distracting. It just makes playing through these levels that bit more exciting, and are just a great little touch to add, considering how the last movie has very little scenes of action, which even then confuses me. Like, it's so weird. There's so much extensions to these other two films, like The Matrix, like having the epic, like, sneak out situation, trying to get to Morpheus, you know, the whole scaffolding incident, and Matrix Reloading adding in more rescue missions just to pad things out a bit more, and even though Reloaded didn't need it. But when it comes to Matrix Revolutions' side of things, there's only 3 missions, and one of them is just a massive cutscene, which really isn't that interactive at all. You just watch it and that's the level, which is just kind of, what? And honestly, just, it really baffles me because of how much extensions this game does. I mean, they could have added the train section at the start of Matrix Revolutions, or maybe added a couple in rescue missions. Or hell, I would have been interested to play as Trinity or Morpheus in the big shootout with a Merovingian. They could have added so much more. And yeah, I get it. It's the worst movie out of the 3. And even though the Smith fight is like the big 2 missions you have near the end, but I would like to be reminded of how much it is not the worst movie, even though we all know it is. But hey, that's not to take anything away from what we get, and that is, yet again, an amazing fight, especially for the epic conclusion fight for the Matrix trilogy. And these flying Dragon Ball style air fights are awesome, but probably one of the coolest things that I have ever seen and ever played to end a certain game in a certain way is fighting a mecha giant mega Smith robot as the true and final boss of the game. And this is probably just me, but this is better than the movie's actual proper conclusion. Like, yeah, it's stupid and ridiculous, but ask yourself this: when have these movies ever not been that? And the fact that the Wachowski brothers, sisters, as I probably will get shamed on the internet for getting that wrong, basically break the 4th wall and admit the over-complexity and true meaning of their ending, of Neo basically being Jesus as well.
Shit.
I find hysterical and somehow is miles better than the film's direction, despite it being an alternative exclusively for the game. You know what? It's a movie licensed game, and that's always a 3-worded phrase that practically means failure. It's a license to kill in the end of the day. But Matrix Path of Neo is not that. I actually think this game is really good. It's great for a first playthrough, and I seriously would recommend it. Not like, not extremely, but I would definitely say give it a go, pick it up, and like just look at it in that way, because it is actually really good, in my own opinion. And yes, there's ups and downs about it, like every game. The free flow combat is awesome, the gunplay Max Payne style is absolutely ridiculously fun, and the extensions to a lot of the stuff and a lot of the boss fights are bloody amazing. But the bad stuff is like, yeah, the weapon combat doesn't really feel that needed, and it kind of just feels like it's not welcome at some areas because it just doesn't really appear in itself a lot, as much as the gunplay and the hand-to-hand combat. And there's a major lack of extensions with the whole Matrix Revolution stuff, and that's just a bit sad because of the major extensions they make with Matrix and Matrix Reloaded, so that's a bit of a bummer. But regardless, it still is a really good game. It's a good movie licensed game. Why would you not want to pick it up? It's just that good in my opinion. Path of Neo was great, you know, Matrix 1 and 2 were great films. Matrix Revolutions was a film, and Matrix Resurrections is something I'll probably never go near because of the amount of negativity I hear towards it. And yes, there are a couple more Matrix games out there, but Path of Neo was probably the only one I was going to go near because of the nostalgia it had. Hell, I looked on it, I think it was onbuy.com, I looked on there and I bought it, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to do a Gamessnia Show episode on it. Because, yeah, it's just one of those games that stick out to me from when, like I said, 2006 or so, when I came out of hospital. That was like the first memory I had of it. And yeah, I don't know, Path of Neo just sticks out as that game that I remember. Isn't that amazing or isn't that great? But I just remember it vaguely enough that it just be like, yeah, it's good for a Gamessnia Show episode, so let's do it. But until the very next Gamessnia Show episode, guys, I will all see you in that very next video. But until then, guys, as always, Gamessnia signing off.